So I think for me, the first thing I think about is who gets left behind. So when a system is rapidly changing, there are two things that change, right? So we're talking about the liberal international order changing, but we're also talking about national social compacts changing. One of the things we talk about a lot in economic theory is this idea of creative destruction. So the idea that things are created, but they're also destroyed. And oftentimes in a global system, these happen in two different places. So geography really matters when you talk about creative destruction and this kind of very rapid and disruptive change. So then what happens is you really need to start to ask the question of what is the domestic policy response? So for people in very specific locations, when they're affected by this level of change, what's the responsibility of government, to kind of address these issues and kind of meet the needs of the people who do get left behind?
I think both very interesting questions. Let me take the former and say that what I see as one of the greatest challenges are perhaps two. The first is that we talk about the future, but we always resort to the past, to the experiences that we've had, rather than to consider what we might have in the future. I think the second issue that I find of importance is we do not recognize two profound transformational factors. The first is that for the first time in the history of human beings, we can actually change who we are. And the second is that our planet is no longer the sole space where we will be operating.
I believe it is the technology which is both the biggest opportunity and the greatest challenge of our times. And it is connected with human nature, I believe. Because we must learn to embrace technology, but also to stay human and humane, to tame our dark side, like stress and fear of changes. If we can do that, and if we can embrace technology, we could build trust and we can solve most of the other challenges that are posed by the times.
Okay. I'm from Northeast Asia part, and we have traditional security challenges like DPRK provocation, missile testing, and nuclear development. These are traditional. And also we have a gray zone situation, which is not the armed conflict, but not total peace. That means we must be aware of what's happening. And these are very undiscernible, the threats. So the challenge is that we have a very less preparedness to deal with that. But the opportunity is that we have alliances and we have US forces and better management. In that sense, networking is our opportunity for dealing with the gray zone situation.
I think that one of the biggest challenges for us liberals in Europe is the growing popularity of populism and Euroscepticism, not only in Western democracies but also in Central Europe. And why? I think that this is a challenge. This is a challenge mainly because populists, they've questioned everything that we liberals have believed in. I mean, these are values that we've believed in. This is free trade, but also organizations like the European Union that I actually happen to work on. So all those sets of values have been questioned by populists and Eurosceptics. So at the same time, I would argue that we should see this growing phenomenon also as an opportunity for the European Union, for example, because Eurosceptics and populists, I think, have forced us and European leaders actually to reflect on our own deficiencies.